George Harrison was never shy about sharing his blunt opinion of the Beatles' legendary 1965 Shea Stadium concert, despite its reputation as one of the band's most iconic shows. The event itself was a milestone, drawing a record-breaking 55,600 fans at the height of Beatlemania. By this point, the Beatles had already conquered the world stage with their Ed Sullivan Show debut, countless record sales, and international tours. Yet behind the glamour, the group was growing weary of the relentless schedule and disillusioned with the chaos that surrounded every appearance. The deafening screams made it impossible for them to hear themselves play, leaving performances feeling hollow and frustrating. By 1965, Beatlemania had worn them down. In Here Comes the Sun, the spiritual and musical journey of George Harrison, author Joshua M. Green explained how the hysteria had escalated to dangerous extremes, recalling one incident in Kansas City the previous year, when frenzied fans broke through barriers and rocked the band's mobile dressing room until it nearly overturned. Police eventually dispersed the crowd with force, but the toll on the Beatles was clear. Green observed that their once light-hearted humor had begun to fade under the pressure. When the band learned about their upcoming Shea Stadium show, they were far from enthusiastic, expecting the same frenzy. By the time they arrived on August 15, 1965, their indifference was obvious. Green noted that the crowd of more than 55,000 marked the largest audience ever gathered for an entertainment event at the time. The Beatles made a dramatic entrance, first by helicopter and then inside an armored truck, before stepping into a wall of sound so intense that even police officers covered their ears. Emergency stations were quickly overwhelmed with fans who had fainted from screaming, while the band's boosted amplifiers were no match for the roar of the audience. The Beatles had once cherished genuine interaction with fans, but stadium concerts turned that intimacy into something impersonal. They no longer cared that neither they nor their fans could hear the music properly. John Lennon, when asked after the show whether it bothered him that the band couldn't hear themselves, responded with characteristic humor that they already had the records at home. Beneath the quip, however, was growing disillusionment. Harrison was even more candid. When questioned about the near-riot atmosphere, he described the experience as detached and impersonal, admitting that by then, the band simply did not care anymore. Not everyone agreed with his harsh view. Radio personality Bruce Morrow, better known as Cousin Brucey, insisted that the Beatles did care, at least about their safety. A close friend of the band who co-introduced them at Shea Stadium alongside Ed Sullivan, he later reflected on the night as an overwhelming surge of energy, which he described as love. According to him, before stepping on stage, Lennon and McCartney nervously asked whether the situation was safe, revealing their concern. Morrow admitted that he reassured them despite secretly being terrified himself, crossing his fingers behind his back while promising that the fans only wanted to be close to them. Looking back, he said he had never experienced anything like the intense force of that crowd's energy.